Good afternoon, everyone. It's one-ish, so you know what time it is. It's time for your favorite accountability podcast, Dream Do Done, with the how-to coach, Tamara Hartley, and the pulpit trick, Serena Brown Travis, and myself, the chief faithpreneur, Dr. Stacey N.C. Grant. Thank you so much for joining our show, for being a part of our community. Season 3, we're still here, and we're still sharing information with you on the process to progress. This is not overnight. Anything that you're doing in your life, it requires some opportunity for you to grow through and to become just committed to the best version of who you are, whether that's in business, whether that's with your family. Every day that we're above ground is an opportunity for us to be grateful and to grow. So welcome to the show. I'm going to turn it over to my co-host so that they can say hello to you. How to coach? How you doing?
I am doing well. I am so glad to be with you all. When I'm not here with you, I was out last Monday. I miss you guys. I know we got business to take care of outside of, but I miss this Monday thing. It's been going on for so long. It's just a part of who I am. I'm like, should I be somewhere right now? No,
And
but
we
I hope
missed
you had
you.
a great show. I did miss you all. Glad to be here.
Well, glad to have you. We absolutely did miss you. We miss anybody when we're not here all together. It's just a part of our daily routine. And the pulpit chick is posing in caricature today. Hey, pulpit chick.
You just never know what you're gonna say before you pass the mic to me. But anyways, hello everyone. Yes, I am posing because listen, I mean, I could not pull anything together this morning. So nonetheless, I'm glad to still be here in the flesh. And this picture was actually taken at your fabulous event, the Faithpreneur event. So I appreciate your husband who is a photographer. Right. I appreciate your husband who was just an amazing photographer. And I'm like, oh, he caught my best side. Like, that's not bad at all. But I
You
had
know,
an amazing weekend. I had an amazing weekend. And here in Ohio, I mean, Tamara, it's like 80 degrees. Like, it is like a summer heat wave. And of all weekends, my air conditioner was acting funny. And come
uh-oh.
to find out, it was our filter. So I could have a whole sermon about filtering stuff out your life, but we will keep it. The filter was so bad off. I thought the filter was supposed to be heather gray. And then my husband went to go buy one and he was like, no, dear, they're white. And I was like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, okay.
Oh yeah, we could definitely tag team on that show because you remember when I had the little fire alarm incident?
Yes.
It
Yes.
all boiled down to a filter on the outside of your house that needs to be changed on a regular basis. How about just as long as you've lived there? How about that? So
Yes,
we can tag
child.
team on that because it's important.
It is important. It is
Oh my
important.
Lord. That is too funny. Well, here goes for the filters.
Lord have mercy.
I promise you that we keep you going with laughing. They're real endorphins that you release. They're hormones that make life better. If you're not laughing, then I don't even understand what's wrong with you. Like, you have to laugh to get through life, and don't take yourself too seriously. That's another sermon for another day, because everybody's going through something, been through a situation, and we just have to be open enough to talk about it. And today we're going to talk about just our feelings around a topic and a subject that we're all dealing with, seeing how we've gone through COVID-19 together. On this show, we focused on business information as well as personal information, as well as challenges of being a mom, a wife, all of that incorporated into what we do. There's still things that we need to get done. And at the forefront of all of our minds is now the United States and a lot of other places are opening. What does that really mean? We want to send our prayers out to countries like India, who are really going through it right now. They started moving, and yes, there can be some conversation on access to vaccine versus not, but this is in real time where people are moving faster than some of us would like. and hopeful. Everybody's hopeful that we can go back to a way of operating, but it won't be the way it was. Let's just get that straight. Like nothing will ever go back to exactly the way it was, and we have to adjust. So the Times is kind of tracking what's happening. So the states with the darker color, those are the ones that are basically open right now. And the ones with the next shade of gray up, they're going to open this month. And then those with the lighter gray, June or later. And then those with almost like the lines through it, they have criteria, but they don't have any date set for when they're opening. So when we look at this map, just in general, before we get to the states that, they're not even thinking about it, they haven't set any criteria or date. This is a main portion of our country, especially down south, when you talk about holidays and traveling and people going away for the summer. And it I think we should all just be very cautious, right? That we don't move too fast. So, California, if hospitalization rates are low and the vaccine supply is sufficient, they're opening up in June. Illinois, if half the residents 16 and older have received at least one vaccine and coronavirus metrics have been stable for 28 days, they're saying they'll open in the beginning of June. Kentucky, June. Maine, May 24th. New York, let me see where we are on the list. June 11th for DC, Minnesota. So this is interesting. Ohio, I wanted to go where you all are. So Ohio is creeping up there on June 2nd, but no specific mandates. Any information on your state?
So yeah, so on June 2nd, they are lifting a lot of the emergency mandates that were sent out, the masking and things like that. They're saying that if you are vaccinated, you do not have to wear a mask except in these places. And of course, there are a long list of other businesses who are still mandating that people have on masks when they come into the establishment. So it's going to be a little bit of that, I think, where people are not mandated, but the businesses are having their own kind of requirements and things like that. So you can't fly, you can't go on public transportation, things like that without a mask still. I've been seeing all over Facebook, people are like, okay, they may lift the mask mandate on the 2nd, but I will be wearing my mask. So a lot of people aren't trusting that. And it's really very interesting where people are with it, because a lot of people we've been in the house for so long. We want to get out. It's summer. We want to relax. We want to go places. We want to do things. But at the same time, we still have to recognize where we are and what we've just been through. And is that really over? And not only just for the public, but just for your personal business. All of our entrepreneurs that are on this call or listening to this broadcast replay, we have to make some decisions about personally what we're most comfortable with. But yeah, so Ohio is opening up June 2nd. A lot of that stuff is going away, but still being very, very cautious.
And I think when we look at this, however, there are a lot of people who want to still stay home, which I get. They've actually fallen in love with Zoom and all of that. But in our business, Stacy and Tamara, Tamara, you had a speaking engagement last week or 2 weeks ago. This industry does not stop. And as much as we can appreciate Zoom and Facebook Live and all of that, there's still nothing better than being in connection with one another. That, when someone is speaking, you can feel the energy. You can feel the energy in the room, and people engage with one another. I know one of the things, as my father, when he speaks, he'll say, look to the person next to you, shake their hand, give them a high five, whatever the case may be. And as he speaks, he engages the audience in so many ways. So I get it that people don't want to get out. I'm ready to at least give some people a hug and tell people I miss them and all that good stuff. And so it will be interesting. And then the other thing that I remember hearing, and that this is actually quite funny to me, is that a handshake will be extinct. People are saying that handshakes will go away because they just transmit way too many germs. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, I remember taking an etiquette class on how to shake a hand, how to nod your head in a certain way, and all of those things. So will a fist bump be acceptable? Will an elbow be acceptable? Who knows? But in a business setting, handshakes they're saying that they will be extinct, and they will nearly become something of the past, which I just think is absolutely amazing. Throw away the idea of a firm handshake.
That just seems so like bizarre to me. Like no handshakes, no hugs. I'm already in hug withdrawal. Like what am I going to do?
Yeah, and you made a very valid point, Serena. Especially all of us being able to connect with people from a stage and just how that is. And it was so funny when I did have the speaking engagement a couple of weeks ago. It really was like, okay, we back. It was like very exciting to be there. And I think a lot of people feel that, but a lot of people are still going to have to continue to pivot and think of new ways to continue to do business. That's why I was so excited about this conversation, just to get an idea of what people were thinking. We did so much to stay in business during the pandemic. I don't know that everybody's really going to go back to, okay, now let's have all these events, let's do this. So that part of your business may not return to as normal as we would like it to. How are you still staying afloat, and what are you doing to, kind of keep stay in business?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just so much as you were talking, and I'm thinking about just the impacts that we have yet to know because they're still trying to figure out all the different layers of the challenges COVID-19 presented. And this is a lot of experimental openings and trials because it's really, my girlfriend says 2023 is when she'll be comfortable. Like she not trusting anything until 2023. Like we need to be that far out of this situation. But we laugh, we just really don't know. And we are prayerful that we don't end up back in a shutdown situation because people are moving too fast. And I know some governors have been more vocal than others that if they see trends moving in the wrong direction, it'll go right back to what it was so that they can prevent loss of life, which is ultimately what we want. And, we have to honor those who didn't make it. So many people. I mean, you're talking about millions of lives.
Yeah.
And that's millions of families that have been affected by this. So we have to be careful, and young people as well getting too lax or comfortable with how they move about.
Yeah. And even from a business standpoint, though, we did so much to kind of stay afloat. I don't know that many people are looking to go back to do some of those things. Many people got out of the habit of spending money and have more discretionary income. They've been saving more. I just wonder about those spending trends. Will they increase? Will they kind of stay the same? Will people not spend as much? Even though some of us hate Zoom, a lot of people have transitioned to like digital products and digital services, group coaching versus one-on-one. I mean, I think a lot of that stuff is here to stay and will definitely be incorporated. I mean, I was always kind of that person anyway. A lot of my things were digital, but I've increased some of the digital stuff just because of that, and I know none of that stuff is going anywhere.
Exactly. That is the truth. And then with business, Serena, would love to hear from you with the restaurant industry. How do you feel that you clearly were in prime position to be takeout, but do you see people more comfortable ordering more? Like, what are the trends that you're seeing?
Yeah, so actually, people are still ordering food, which thank God for that. Our biggest challenge is actually staff, and so we are, now staffing was always an issue before, but now it is just unbelievable. I mean, as you all remember, sometime I would hire staff members and they would quit after 2 weeks or a week, and I'm like, oh well, hey, what happened? Oh yeah, I already got the money I need to pay my cell phone bill. What? So now, even with the pandemic, we have people who the demand is there for food. Unfortunately, we do not have the staffing to expand. Like we get calls. In fact, we just received a call for us to do a wedding, and I had to say, hey, I don't trust that if my husband and I don't do it, I don't trust that it can get done. I'm going to have to decline the offer. So demand is there. I think what we'll have to do is just be far more patient as consumers. We are now relying on 14 and 15-year-old people, young people, which of course is a wonderful training opportunity for them. We're grateful that their parents have loaned them to us so that they can learn communication skills and customer service skills and all the skills that ideally, make someone successful or more social as they get out into the real world. But yeah, the challenge is people have, unfortunately, either they're enjoying their stimulus check or they have gotten lazy. And so we do not have, the 16, 17, 18-year-olds that should be holding down 3 jobs. I remember as a teenager, I held down 3 jobs just to get as much bread as possible, during the summertime. That hustle no longer exists. And so consumer demand is still there, but finding employees is indeed a challenge.
Wow.
That's an interesting perspective, Serena, because, our governor in Ohio just let everyone know that we would not be taking the federal subsidy to what we were just talking about, unemployment anymore, because they are
Yes.
the workforce crisis, and they really think that has a lot to do with why people don't want to work, that they get more with the subsidies than they do with just regular unemployment or just working. And so
Yes.
that was going away. And my initial response to that was like, well, there is a greater problem when you think about, some of those jobs that they're talking about. Not everyone is not working because they are at home not doing anything. And that's what people kept saying over and over. Some people are not working because some of those jobs aren't paying anymore. But what you just said that was very significant is, what the job pays, and it's actually for a certain target audience. You know what I mean? So there's a certain, like, you're looking for the 16, 17, 18-year-olds to be in those positions, because during the summer, that's what they do. And so that just made me think about that a little bit differently. Like, wow, there is a demand for all types of jobs, and you have a particular target audience that you're trying to get to actually come out, that you're used to getting to come out to work that part of it. You know what I mean? And so I just thought about that. Like, well, I haven't even, because I don't have employees, I didn't even think about it from that standpoint. So that was, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I
Like,
mean,
duh.
yeah, no. Well, you have, and again, I have fellow friends who are restaurant owners. I mean, at this point, people are shutting down early. They have had to eliminate particular shifts because they can't find enough people to work. So yeah, it sounds pretty hardcore, but if you can earn more money on unemployment, then why not? Why rush back into the workforce and be hot, tired, and so on and so forth. So it is a major challenge, and it's not just me. I mean, if you just even turn on national news, you'll see now hiring, and there is indeed a staff shortage. So my only hope is that while everyone is, whatever the employment situation may be, I only hope and pray that while these jobs are available and the training is available, that people take advantage of it. I mean, as the owner of the restaurant, there's so much more I could be doing to help, maybe create another restaurant and grow something else. But my husband and I are now, unfortunately, in the restaurant, hands-on, more often than we would prefer to be. And so, again, it's just we can't find consistency in terms of working, which again is also a mindset thing, which is what all of us do. So the coaching, the how-to coach and the faithpreneur, like all of us, we have our work set out for us to mentally try to help people grow beyond a cell phone bill and grow beyond just getting their hair cut or buying a video game, but to in fact make a difference in their lives, their financial future, and make a difference in the world.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. That well said, Pulpit Chick. We can just drop a bomb on that, because we need that kind of resource and information. And that's real talk right now, coming out of COVID, balancing the aid that was given, looking at technology. And, I want to close us out today with an article that I shared on another production that I am a part of, in sharing good news. So I shared interesting tidbits and information that's out there. And this article caught my attention, that Google actually used drone delivery to help deliver Girl Scout cookies. So Google flies in to help a Girl Scout with cookie sales shortfall, delivering thousands of boxes via drone. So this technology is actually being utilized in Virginia, Christiansburg, Virginia. And that's their first and only residential drone delivery service. So can you imagine, you're talking about jobs and people needing jobs. Now you have drones delivering things. Who knows where this is going to go? And I'm a firm believer that art imitating reality and reality imitating art, there's a very thin line. And there's other information that we can go in when we start thinking about some of the movies that we see. iRobots could be a situation. You have drones delivering Girl Scout cookies. I'm just saying, there's a lot for us to think about moving into where we'll be post not just COVID, but post all the technological advancements that have been quietly tested and operating in the background as solutions because of the things that we've gone through COVID-19. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit for us to close out the show on as we're preparing for reopenings and what that will do. This could potentially affect people's jobs.
Absolutely. Serena, I'm gonna need you to send me some of those pork chops over by drone. Can you make them deer?
I got you covered, but you know I'm pretty tough on quality, so I have to test it first. I have to test it. I don't do that Les Brown strategy, leap and grow your wings on the way down. I gotta test it. Make sure they're gonna show up and still reflect me.
Yeah, and let me just tell you, I have witnessed that Serena will be in that kitchen like, what? Nuh-uh.
Yeah, we do not play the noise. I always say I can never have a bad day at work when I'm in the restaurant. Never. I can't walk in and say I ain't feeling it today. I always got to be feeling it to make sure everything is 100%.
But you know what? That's why I'm telling you, and I'm not just saying this because she's my sister. She's on the phone right now. That is why the consistency reviews that she gets are so on point. Nobody has ever said, I went this time. You know how you go someplace, it was good on Thursday. You like, ooh, I'm gonna get that again on Friday. And you go get it on Friday. You like, is this even the same place? Serena has those problems.
I'm very grateful for the compliment, but we also are very tired. Amen.
And you know what? I think that's what people don't understand, what you just said, Serena. So that's, as I was listening to people talk about, they were saying staff that are working, staff that are there showing up, keeping everybody afloat during the COVID, all of that, they're just very tired because they are working longer hours. They're kind of overworked. Yes, for some people, you're still getting your delivery, you're still getting your groceries, you're still getting this. So you don't understand how tired the staff actually is because they do not have the help that they're used to having. So I have heard that. So I appreciate you saying that as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, well, here goes the good kitchen for those who are in the area. And you're able to eat what I can't eat because Grubhub won't bring it to New York, but you can go on and order something from the good kitchen and enjoy it on my behalf. But yes, we definitely want to be talking about how we open up, what we do. You've been serving the community and you've been there for so many in need. So we really just want to celebrate that as well and shout out all the good stuff that you're doing at the good kitchen. And excited about where we are going to go. A lot of unknowns still, but we're here at 1-ish every Monday to talk about a variety of topics that can help you move from process to progress. Got some dreams, but you have to do in order to get it done. So we thank you so much for being here today, being a part of our show. Serena, any final words before I kick it over to Tamara to close us out today?
None at all. I am just so grateful that technology has kept us connected. And that is the biggest part. When we have to cry, share, exchange ideas, it's much better than a Friday visit from Tamara at your door. But I absolutely love you ladies. I'm so excited for what we've done, what we continue to do, and I'll shoot it right over to Tamara.
So she cracks me up every time she goes there, but it's so funny because I do not see any lies. But the truth of the reality is this last year, we all have pivoted in some kind of a way. I hope that the ways you've pivoted have actually grown your business, gave you some creative ideas, because you never know moving forward when we might have to like shut it down or do something different or pivot again. So I like the new avenues that I've been able to create in my business. I hope that you are doing the same. And again, if you have not started yet, now is still the time. Make sure you go to our website, dreamdodone.com. The pandemic is not over, but neither are your dreams. Like, it's not predicated on what's going on with the pandemic. So we've been here every Monday during the pandemic, and we hope that we've been effective in sharing with you that what we do, you can do as well, and that we can actually help you. Make sure you go to the website, dreamdodone.com. You know about our journal that we have. to help you reach your goals and take daily action, because we all know that it's in your daily actions where these dreams really come to fruition. But also make sure you sign up for some of our mastermind classes. We will be discussing those shortly, of how you can get in one of those. You know it's limited, so make sure you get on that wait list so that you can be the first to know and one of the first possibly chosen to be a part of the masterclass. But that's all I have. I can't wait to talk to you again next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.